Hello guys, welcome back to Super Guy Boy Show, and today we are back with our Jojolands chapter review, this time on chapter 11 with The Hustle Part 2, or as the romanization title says, The Hustle Part 2! Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, we are back with another Jojolands chapter review, and yeah, I don't have much to say, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm sorry for taking way too long with the chapter review. That was because I had just been done finishing my thoughts on Jojolands, and I released it on the exact same day as the chapter release. So yeah, I've been just consuming it, taking my break from YouTube for a bit, but I decided to just come back and make this video pretty quickly because I don't have much to say. Now, before anyone says anything, I don't mean that in a negative light. I actually mean that more of like, there's not much to really talk about outside of just the ending and maybe one scene as well, as most of the chapter is pretty much action. You're not going to get that much in-depth analysis from me personally because it's mostly just an action chapter, and I thought the fight was pretty cool. Not as good as in part 1 though. That fight with Paco and the stand user we're still fighting currently in chapter 10 is still probably my second favorite battle in the part so far, right next to Cat's Eyes, because that battle was just straight up goated, as currently this part is still going on. But yeah, I thought this chapter was pretty fun. I love the new mechanics of this guy's stand and the way it blended in. Definitely got some really great panels. My personal favorite panel is definitely when the guy blends in with the ocean, which just looked really badass. I swear, this is definitely going to be a Rocky just showing off more of his artwork just as a stand ability alone. But before I get to the big part at the end, I want to bring up this little thing that happens in the beginning of the chapter and at the end of the chapter. That's Usagi and Dragona's relationship. I swear, these two have just been nothing but my favorite characters of the part so far. Usagi's just a fun, goofy character, and Dragona's just a cool character that always tries to keep everyone on track. And what I love about it is that Dragona was stabbed in the last chapter, and I was wondering how Smooth Operators was gonna fix this whole thing. But then Smooth Operators just takes the wound and puts it on a bottle, which is a cool thing that we saw Smooth Operators do, which is making it definitely a pretty cool looking stand from what we're getting so far. But what I love is that Usagi's pretty much crying over here, having a mental breakdown. I was like, oh my god, this whole trip we had so far has made me realize that I love you. And then Dragona just completely like friend zones him, like completely is like, we gotta get back on the mission. Like, she doesn't give a shit what Usagi just said. Well, maybe she does, but currently they're in a battle right now, and she literally just got stabbed earlier. Like, just give her a break. And what I love about it is that I really love their relationship so far. It's so casual and fun to see, and I pretty much knew that at some point Usagi was gonna try to like hook up with her, like trying to say like, hey, I have some feelings for you, because like the first time we meet up with Usagi, he mainly just has a relationship and starts talking to mostly Dragona. He's the one that suggests the names, and the first one he names is Dragona, Pink-chan. He's always the one that's asking her, like, hey, ask Mati Kudasai to get something. He never asked anyone else. He's mostly just following Dragona. And like, honestly, it was just such a fun moment. As well as this other scene where Usagi just starts getting all afraid and shit, and then Dragona like tries to calm him down by saying like, the rest of society looks at us as really low, but we're just here to try to get a mission done and all that, which I really like that. I'm starting to like these characters a lot more. But personally, the big attraction for this chapter, instead of the big fight, and of course Dragon and Usagi, because they're my favorite characters of the part so far, is this guy and how he's potentially gonna be an ally. Yes, we are 11 chapters in with this pretty sustainable cast of characters, and we're already going to be introduced with a new ally. Now, I have a couple mixed thoughts on this. I think what the first one I'm going to go through is that maybe I'm just looking at this with a bit of like, because this is a new chapter right now, and maybe in retrospect as we keep going on with part 9, I'm going to be looking back at this chapter a lot less paranoid than I am right now, mainly because we've had this before in almost every part of JoJo's, where a ally is at first a villain or some sort. Like, look at Polnareff, Bruno, Okuyasu, Foo Fighters. They were all like villains or some sort, and then they were all like, they all turned good or like turned out to be great moms or something, or really fun characters and all that. It's happened him before, and maybe it's gonna be the same thing with this guy. Like at first we're like, oh fuck this guy, he stabbed Dragona, and then it's gonna be like, oh, this guy's kind of cool, especially with the way his stand is. I can kind of imagine his stand being worked very well with more espionage type of situations. It would be very cool to get more of what this guy can do, because it seems like his stand cannot be used in like a combat sort of way, since he does use a knife, but it can be used in maybe like more of like espionage type of things, more of spy work, heist. Aha, I see what Araki's been doing. But I'm not gonna lie when I do say I am a bit disappointed how this arc seems like it's probably gonna end very quickly, since the initial chapter was really great. Chapter 10 is easily one of the best chapters of Jojolands. It's great, it was fun, and then now we got to this one and we got a pretty cool action scene too, and now it seems like it's gonna end way too quickly. I don't know why, but it just seems like a lot of the fights in part 9 are ending just a bit more quickly than I would be more happy to be a bit more extended. But who knows, maybe that's just going to be a thing with like the beginning portions of JoJo parts, since most fights don't last more than like an episode or two, and maybe here it's like 2 chapters, 3 chapters, and maybe when we get further it's gonna be like 4 chapters, 5 chapters, and all of that. But yeah, other than that, I am a bit disappointed by the way this fight seems like it's gonna end way too quickly. But another thing that's getting me a bit interested is that as well, we're gonna potentially get the first rock human ally. Now, this is just a thing that I feel like I wish the Rocky explored a bit more with rock humans in part 8, because the thing is, I did not like how rock humans were kind of just put down as just, oh, they're all just like kind of like the fallback of humans. They have like no emotions and all of that. But then like if we look deeper into it, we see that rock humans could actually be a lot more, lot more sensitive and all that. They're a lot more emotional. We got that with Aisho and Dolramidi, as well as we do know that rock humans are capable of being very negative and all that. Like, look at Toru. He's literally a gaslighter. He's the biggest gaslighter you can meet in the series. And other characters like Damo is very sadistic and all of that. But I think my issues with the rock humans was that it kind of the way Araki put them is that it was written in a way of how every one of them, they're either going to be evil or they're going to be very antagonistic to Josuke and all that, and I just didn't like that. I always wondered, like, if we did meet a rock human, like, do all rock humans believe the same philosophy as Toru and everyone else? Do all rock humans want to take over the world? Are there some rock humans who just want to live normal lives, secluded lives? Well, it is that, but unfortunately we didn't really get that in part 8. But it's good that we're most likely going to get that in part 9. Perhaps that this guy is going to introduce us to different types of rock humans. Maybe ones that don't care about taking over the world, or maybe ones that just want to live secluded lives and all that. It's just going to be an interesting concept if Araki does go through with it. And it's always something that I wish that it got explored in part 8, because it always seemed very kind of narrow how rock humans were kind of just put forth as just all evil, all just, oh, we're gonna take over the world, or the fallback of humans. I didn't like that. And maybe that this is gonna do it. But yeah, this will be it for chapter 11. I thought that this chapter was pretty good. It was a pretty fun chapter, especially for the beginning fight, as well as some pretty cool panels we got. But however, this seems more like a transition chapter where we're gonna get introduced to the new guy. And I'm pretty excited for that. So yeah, what did you think of this chapter? What did you think of this video? And yeah, hopefully you had a great day. Hope you had a wonderful life. And yeah, see ya.